Hey, Michael Dermer here from The Lonely Entrepreneur. And there's so many times along our entrepreneurial journeys where people say, well, if I could just blank, I'd be great. And the blank is different every time. If I could just raise money, if I could just get people, if people just understood, dot, dot, dot. So many times we get asked the question, like, what are like the five most important skills that you have to have as an entrepreneur? So we wanted to try to break down what we think a couple of those are. First and foremost, the first one is knowing the difference between, kind of a skill and a craft and a passion and a business, right? So what does that mean? So let's say you're a fashion designer or a doctor or a chef or a technologist or a physical therapist or a consultant. All of those things the marketplace may need, and you may have identified a need for that marketplace, okay? Understanding that craft, that a chef, being a formally trained chef and being in a Michelin star restaurant, is different than running a restaurant. And running a restaurant has all of these elements to this that you may not know or understand, and that's okay. But the skills to understand that you have to have that to be successful. Think of it this way. If you went into a 5-star restaurant and you're in the kitchen and somebody said, go, would you know what to do? You wouldn't, because you hadn't been formally trained as a chef. Understanding that the skill or the craft that goes with what a business is, and there's many people that can help you what that business is a super important skill you need to learn. And a lot of times people just go in and say, I'm going to make great food, and it doesn't translate into financial success. Second, we at The Lonely Entrepreneur call this finding a playground where nobody else is playing. Well, what does that mean? The world's incredibly cluttered. Very few people pay attention to the difference between, product one and product two, or solution one or solution two. Think about you and on your phone or your device or your email box. You get so much stuff that unless something really jumps off the page, right, you're not comparing this to that because you don't have time and the world's too cluttered, right? So what you almost have to do is to create something or a positioning of something where it's only you. And you're like, wait a minute, Michael, that's silly. There's competition everywhere in everything. But that's what we mean by finding a playground where nobody else is playing. For those of you that know our history, we started the first company to reward people for being healthy. Reward programs were being used by every other industry on the planet. Hotels, airlines, retailers, it just hadn't been used in healthcare. And when you find that playground, you're like, yeah. And you go from being one of many, right, to one of one, right, where there's only you. And don't get me wrong, that's not so easy to find, right? And there's tons and tons and tons of examples of how you have to go through the machinations to try to find your playground. When you do, you're the only game in town. And then for those of you that have found those playgrounds or gone to a playground, there's a set of rules on the outside, right? You get to set those rules. Okay, so number one is knowing the difference between or the combination of a craft and a business. Number two is finding a playground where nobody else is playing. Three is you need to have a financial plan. And I know for some of you out there going, oh, I hate numbers. I hate this whole idea. If you don't have a financial plan, it's very difficult to align your scarce resources to getting to success. If you want to open up one barbershop, that's a plan. If you want to open up the next Supercuts or Jean-Louis David right, that's another plan. Okay. The problem is if you as an entrepreneur don't set that initial financial plan, you work hard, right? But you're not directed. It's like, I'm just going to get in my car and start driving from New York and go west. Well, am I going to Chicago or am I going to California? Okay. So your financial plan sets the parameters of what you're trying to get to. Think of it as something simple. Let's say you have a consulting business and you say, okay, in year one, I'm going to try to get to $100,000 of revenue, right? And, I sell my consulting services for $5,000 each. So I need 20 sales, right? There's 12 months. So I need whatever, 1 or 2 sales a month to do that, right? You see how it helps direct your effort? Okay. So 1 is combine a business and a craft. 2 is find a playground where nobody else is playing. 3 is you need a financial plan. The 4th skill is you need to be able to communicate in a way that is clear, concise, and compelling. Okay. Remember, we live in a really cluttered world. You've got to be able to get to your compelling message right away. And here's one of the problems. When we've thought about our idea, right? We talk about when you have your idea, it's like oxygen, you need it to breathe, and you talk about it. We know every detail it took to research it and write a business plan and talk to people about it. And somehow we think that the rest of the world needs to know and understand that in order to embrace it like you embrace it. And it is the complete opposite. It is the ability to boil it down to its essence in a clear, concise, and compelling way. It's almost like the old days of Twitter when you can only have a certain number of characters. Like, your skill as the leader is the ability to get everything you communicate down to being clear and concise and compelling. Well, why is that? Well, the results of that are very impactful. Number one, customers buy faster. Number two, investors invest faster. It's easier to attract employees and partners and advisors because you're able to communicate in a clear and compelling way. When we started our healthcare company rewarding people for being healthy, we said, there's no lack of healthcare solutions out there for diabetes, heart disease, back pain, pregnancy, but the universal problem is nobody does them. Nobody uses them, right? So we think the most important solution you're going to need is to reward people to do those solutions. And that's the message I used to leave on the voicemails of CEOs of United Healthcare and Cigna, and a lot of them called me back because what I was saying, we hoped, was clear and concise and compelling. Right? You have to really resist to kind of throw up on the page of all the things you know. How many times have you seen, you ask an entrepreneur, tell me about your price? And the answer is, should be 4 or whatever. And they give you the whole history of pricing and theories of pricing, right? Right? Because we understand that. We call that in entrepreneur land, in lonely entrepreneur land, your balloon is full, right? Your balloon is full of air and the air has to go somewhere. But your job is to resist that temptation. It's to boil it down to something that is clear and concise and compelling. And then finally, it's the ability to make sure that your organization has the resources it needs to meet your financial plan. And that sounds easier said than done, right? Because it's like, wait a minute, I don't have any money. Like, resources might mean, okay, I've come up with my plan. I have to spend time to raise money. Like, that's what I have to do to actually get this plan done. It might be, okay, I have to piece together resources. I need some advisors. I need an MBA student. I need a friend of a friend. I need somebody that can do social media for me on the side. I'm going to go to Upwork or Fiverr, right? I've got to be able to piece together a group of resources, right? If you don't have capital, to be able to align and move the ball down the field to ultimately realizing my vision. Okay. So skill number 1, right? It's both the skill and the business. Skill number 2, finding a playground where nobody else is playing. Skill number 3, you need a financial plan. Okay. Skill number 4, clear, concise, compelling messaging. And skill number 5, using all your talents and your creativity to bring together the resources you need, including raising money to give you a better chance of success. And, for those of you that know us, we take incredibly seriously the goal of helping people turn their passion into success. That's why we exist. So we hope these tips will help you have a better chance of turning your passion into a success. So thanks for listening.